There, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on Joy Asoye Live. It's wonderful again to be here. Is it me or wherever you turn? It seems like everyone is talking about agriculture, talking about planting, talking about crops. Hunger, like in the local palace, as it said, hunger can be very innovative. I mean, I think Nigerians are hungry, and there's that need to look inward as to how you and everyone around you can have this food sufficiency we keep discussing. Today, we will be discussing the Renewed Hope Initiative when it comes to agriculture. How can the IDPs, that's the internally displaced people, participate? Well, there's an initiative that looks into IDPs participating. We've often talked about how this sector can be used, can be productive in spite of having the unfortunate occurrence that has happened to them. How can we ensure that they are still productive, able to feed better, able to be to contribute meaningfully to society? That is what we'll be discussing. How can IDPs participate in this seeming effort to get agriculture in every home? We also discussed some time ago the President's Wife's initiative of ensuring every home is a garden. I heard a lot of agriculture experts also criticize that move. A lot of things have to be in place before coming up with this initiative, and maybe the first thing to do isn't to make it a competition. Maybe that's not the first thing to do. Maybe the Nigerian women really need to know how they can bring home agriculture. For a very long time, we farm a certain meters away from our homes, and you're bringing an initiative. A lot of people still do not know how they can bring about hydroponics. I think that's what it's called, and the several aspects of agriculture. Maybe trainings should go into that. And now we're talking about IDPs, that's the internally displaced persons. These are individuals who are running away from very, very harrowing experiences, traumatic experiences, from security-prone areas as well. These are people who probably have farming and have been displaced, do not have any source of income. It's a beautiful initiative to introduce them to agriculture. A lot of us will say, what could possibly go wrong? There's so much to discuss on this edition, but we'll go for a short break. When we return, we'll have the person championing this Renewed Hope Initiative, agricultural initiative for the IDPs. We'll be back to discuss so much more. So stay with us. Promises to be very interesting.
Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daybreak Africa provides. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, trends,
and then you see these people, they're so agile, they can do
politics.
We have to go back to that regional system. That is the foundation of this country, for God's sake.
Entertainment, fashion, culinary skills.
So first I'm going to be pouring the oil inside because
religious and cultural events amongst others on Daybreak Africa. For a rich mix of analysis on current issues, tune in daily from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on channel 480 and 124 on Star Times. Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daybreak Africa provides. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, Trends.
Exactly, and then you see these people, they're so agile, they can do it.
Politics.
We have to go back to that regional system. That is the foundation of this country, for God's sake.
Entertainment. Fashion. Culinary skills.
So first I'm going to be pouring the oil inside because I will...
Religious and cultural events amongst others on Daybreak Africa. For a rich mix of analysis on current issues, tune in daily from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on channel 480 and 124 on Star Times. Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daybreak Africa provides. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, trends,
Exactly, and then you see these people, they're so agile, they can do it.
politics,
We have to go back to that regional system. That is the foundation of this country, for God's sake.
entertainment, fashion, culinary skills,
So first I'm going to be pouring the oil inside because I will...
religious and cultural events amongst others on Daybreak Africa. For a rich mix of analysis on current issues, tune in daily from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on channel 480 and 124 on Star Times. Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daybreak Africa provides. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, trends,
Exactly, and then you see these people, they're so agile, they can do it.
politics,
We have to go back to that regional system. That is the foundation of this country, for God's sake.
entertainment, fashion, culinary skills,
So first I'm going to be pouring the oil inside because I will...
religious and cultural events amongst others on Daybreak Africa. For a rich mix of analysis on current issues, tune in daily from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on channel 480 and 124 on Star Times. Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daybreak Africa provides. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, trends,
Exactly, and then you see these people, they're so agile, they can do it.
politics,
We have to go back to that regional system. That is the foundation of this country, for God's sake.
entertainment, fashion, culinary skills,
So first I'm going to be pouring the oil inside because I will...
religious and cultural events amongst others on Daybreak Africa. For a rich mix of analysis on current issues, tune in daily from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on channel 480 and 124 on Star Times. Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daybreak Africa provides. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, trends,
Exactly, and then you see these people, they're so agile, they can do it.
politics,
We have to go back to that regional system. That is the foundation of this country, for God's sake.
entertainment, fashion, culinary skills,
So first I'm going to be pouring the oil inside because I will...
religious and cultural events, amongst others, on Daybreak Africa. For a rich mix of analysis on current issues, tune in daily from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on channel 480 and 124 on Star Times. Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daybreak Africa provides. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, trends,
Exactly, and then you see these people, they're so agile, they can do it.
politics,
We have to go back to that regional system. That is the foundation of
that short break I had promised unfortunately became very long. I apologize for that. There were technical issues we really had to settle at the moment, but the show is continuing now. Like I said earlier, we shall be discussing something very important: how we can harness the productivity of these people who unfortunately have to be running away from these security prone areas, how we can get them productive and join this Tinubu's effort to get every home a garden and get everyone focusing on agriculture. Well, to discuss the Renewed Hope initiative for IDPs is the lead consultant, Renewed Hope Agriculture Empowerment Project for IDPs. He is Chief Samuel Pukat Talba. Chief Samuel Pukat Talba. He's the Sadauna Matasam Arewa and like I said, the lead consultant for this very noble project. Thank you so much for joining us. He's joining us via Skype here in Abuja.
Good evening, viewers.
It's good to know you're right there. Now let's just go straight to the reason why we needed to get IDPs in this project.
Yeah, you see, we have to look at what Mr. President is bringing on board. Is concerned and concerning less privileged and people of different kinds of concern in the society. And the IDPs are people provoked by prison of other classes in the farm. And of course, as the name IDPs, which means something happened to them. These people are farmers. More than 90% of them are farmers. And these people are displaced from their communities, displaced from their farms, displaced from their residential areas. And now it is time for farming activity. So the question now is how do they go back to farming? Since government is still making arrangements for their settlement in their various places of abode. So now that gives back to the New Hope agro agri empowerment project for the IDPs, so that they will be able to have at least something to eat, and of course, even as the situation of the country goes on, not only limited to Nigeria, you discover that we have a lot of issues, economic crisis, not only limited to Nigeria, as I said, it's virtually all over. So today, the Renew Hope Agri Empowerment Project for the IDPs is a program that, through the help of the royal fathers, and of course, illustrious sons and daughters, the farm is donated for the purpose. And these farms now, we are starting with about 3 states, Borno State, Plateau State, and of course, Nassau State. The program was launched in Nassau State, local.
Okay.
Yes, today the flag of the plantain also is launched in Jos, Plateau State. Today the crops are really coming up. Very fantastic. And this is how the program goes. We try to make sure that, we're trying to graduate from the conventional ways of giving input to farmers, which oftentimes the input is not getting to them. Because at times, some of them, when they go to collect this particular input, they will go with buyers. So, and of course, government is suffering a lot of things concerning that. You discover that the kind of investment that government have put into agriculture, the past government, of course, of the present government, they have put a lot of money. But it seems there is no result, because the farmers often goes there and, of course, bring buyers to collect it. They collect peanuts from them. That's go. So at the end of the day, the intention of government, it is not achieved.
Okay.
So this program now captured all those kinds of deficiencies, and we're trying to see that, okay, they profile them like we're doing 400 farmers in Maiduguri, 300 farmers of these IDPs in Plateau State, of course, and 300 in Nassau State. So we now, like in Jos, the Gongom Jos donated farm, and of course, one electoral son called Honorable Leo, the former House of State member, also donated the farm in Jos. And while in Nasarawa, the king of Loco, the emir of Loco, donated the farm. So this farm in Jos is 150 hectares to
Wow.
every to every IDPs, half a hectare is given to him or to her. So we now profile them, 300 of them, and 2 banks are appointed to take care of that activities. An account is open for all of them. Then in that account, a particular amount of money is deposited there, which is for the labor of the farm from starting to the harvest.
Okay.
So none of them are given input. Then
I didn't quite get that. Most of them are given what?
None of them is given the input to go with it.
Okay.
The input are stocked in the particular stores. And so after profiling them, we now, the Ministry of, the agency, that is National Commission for Refugee, Migrant and Internally Displaced Persons, now profiled those beneficiaries, now collaborated together with Federal Ministry of Agriculture.
Okay.
So the whole input for the program is given by Ministry of Agriculture. Then the cash component of the program is now given by National Commission for Refugee, Migrant and Internally Displaced Persons.
I'd just like to quickly ask, I mean, while the mainstay for some of these IDPs rather is agriculture, but not all of them were in the agricultural sector. So how has the receptivity been when you approach them to tell them, you know what, we can engage you in agricultural processes? And they have vulcanizers right there. There are mechanics, there are several other skills that, and talents right there. Do you get people who say, you know what, I appreciate agriculture, but it's not for me?
Well, you see, the world is going agricultural-wise. You see, when you go back to this agriculture something, you discover that it is a foundational thing given by man. God gave it to man as an inheritance in the beginning. The holy book, all the Holy Book talks about, testified about it. After man was created, of course, it was said God created a garden. Of course, the terms garden there talks about farm. He now put the man inside and asked him to till it. So all other things are just gara. But the main thing is what God gave man is agriculture. So we are going back to that agricultural field where we have forgotten, and it's causing a lot of issues. How much do you have to go to the market to go and buy food for yourself?
That's enough. And the best of us are still complaining with the inflation right now.
Thank you. So that is why if you see somebody doing your farm, you have something to eat. You don't go to queue in the market again. You carry 100,000 when you go to the market, you come back with a polythene bag.
Right.
So going to farm is very, very important. Back to the reason for making sure that the approach in the farming for the IDPs, you discover that more than 90% of these displaced people are farmers. Like I said in the beginning of the program, that these people, most of them, the factor that removed them from where they are is clash between them and farmers and headers. So you discover that they are farmers. So only few of them, maybe 1%, 2% of them, maybe they have another things doing or schooling like the children. But the majority of them are farmers. That is why we are going into the farming thing. So let me run down the process of this program. Number one, we identify the beneficiaries.
Okay.
making sure that these people are indeed IDPs.
Right.
There are a lot of things that cause some of the problems. After a deep research, we discovered that most of the people that are posing as farmers in various programs of interventions, they are not farmers indeed.
They call them portfolio
So that
farmers.
calls for deep research. Thank you. So that is why we now said, okay, identify that, make sure they are real IDPs. Then we now identify those people. We now go to the royal fathers and the lots of sons and daughters for the farm. So all these things are allocated. We now, by geomapping, we geomap the farm and making sure that each and every one of them have half a hectare.
Okay.
Then in that half a hectare, we now, okay, sir, we now appointed, make them to be in cluster, like cluster 1, like 1 hectare, 2 hectare, 3 hectare, 10 hectare, make one cluster.
Before you go ahead,
And
I'd
this
just like to
cluster will
quickly
not have
ask
about,
if you can hear me, Chief.
yeah.
Now, while vetting them, do you also get to probe what they did, what their abilities are in? Are you a farmer for yams? Are you a cassava farmer? Or you impose what you want? Or you just say, okay, you get into the cluster of rice because you look like you will be good in rice farming. How do you sequester them?
Okay. We question them. Of course, we now have about different kinds of crops of choice.
Okay.
Yes, we have different kinds of crops of choice. So, but then what this program is planning to do is the cluster, let's say cluster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is the hectare, 10 hectare, which now produce 20 farmers. We now said, okay, these 20 people, we can now say, okay, you farm rice. Then we go to another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. We say cluster 2. You farm here. We go to another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that at least we now have a kind of varieties of choice. This Mr. Cluster A can liaise with Cluster B if you want to eat what Cluster B is doing. So you can do a lot of exchange. But now we are, like I was telling you, we have, after we profile them, we now appointed them according to their cluster. Then government now do the farming 100%. 100% government farm. Then we now, okay, if it is time for fertilizer, it is identified that this is your own farm. All of them go to the farm and they now see this is your own, this is your own, this is your own. Then we now center the farm in one place for security purpose, for security reason. We make sure that the farm is in a location, one location, where we now engage the use of agro rangers. Agro rangers are special squads drawn from civil defense.
Oh, really?
And their own training, their own training is farming, is farm related. A broker peace
farm
between
security.
Farmers and the headers. Yes, the broker peace between the farmers and the headers. So this program now brought them in for security purpose.
Because I was actually about to ask, because a lot of our farmers have been screaming out, we are being attacked. In fact, we've even recorded a state here in the country that cried out to say, we pay taxes. A couple of days in the news, there's a certain community that screamed that, well, we are being asked to even farm in the farmlands of the bandits. So my question was going to be, how are you going to ensure security for these people who are so traumatized going to their farms because of the past experiences? It's good that you mentioned this, but are they well equipped, these guards that you talk about, well equipped to protect farmers?
Very well equipped to the teeth. They are just fantastic. people. And more so, they are trained for that purpose. And I want you to understand, they are not going they are as all out for security fighting. No, they broker peace. They broker peace between the farmers and the headers. So now, go back to the Renew Hope agri empowerment project for the IDPs. We now provide, so after we have given you the farm, government will do everything, fertilizer to each and every one of them, have their own fertilizer, have their own, all the inputs that you can talk about that have to do with agriculture is provided. So we store them in one place. When it is time for planting, we now said, okay, there's a form that is designed. We give out this form to them. You feel, I so and so hereby authorize the release of so amount of money that is given to me by federal government for the purpose of paying labor for planting on my farm. So when they apply like that, then I endorse. I said approve. So we're not, because the money that is pushed into their account, which is mainly for the labor. So, okay, the various heads, like of the clusters, we now liaise with them in terms of looking for the laborers that can do the work in the farm. So we now ask them, okay, how much are you going to do? So we now take the one that have the least figure. Then for example, if it is 1 million for the planting, we now divide 1 million by the 300 IDPs. So we now know how much one person is bringing to pay the labor. So when we now identify that, then when the person is applying, we will now put that figure. So that money, I will now say, okay, approve. So bank will now drop that figure. We now use it to pay for the labor of the planting. When it's time for fertilizer application, there's another form also that will be given. So the person will now fill the form. I so and so hereby authorize the release of so bag of fertilizer for application in my farm that government are giving me. So I will now endorse again that approve. So that particular, if it is 1 bag or 2 bag, depending on the advice of the agronomist attached to each of the farm. So we now take it. So they will go and apply. The same thing up to the period of harvest.
Right.
When harvest is done, 20% of the harvest will be given to the beneficiary for food with his family. Then the 80% will now be uptake by government. That is NEMA and Refugee Commission.
Are they going to patronize them using, market prices?
So if they uptake the 80%, if it is then the cash component that form the cash component of the project. So if they uptake the 80%, for example, for 4 million, then it will be divided into 2, which is 2 million, 2 million. Then the other half of the 2 million will be pushed into the account of the beneficiary.
Okay.
As cash component of the project.
Where then comes the sustainability for this?
Well, I am coming to that one.
Okay.
So the 50% is pushed to the account of the beneficiary. So now that beneficiary is now having food for himself and also cash to continue farming anywhere he found himself.
Right.
Together with the capacity building where we now lecture him and make him a modern farmer, a new farmer with new ideas to continue. So
Chief, we really
government
are running out of time. So I would just like
yes,
to quickly
yes,
tell us. I mean,
yes.
report has it that Nigeria has about 3.6 million IDPs. Does this project capture everyone?
No, presently we have about 6 point something IDPs in the country.
That's way beyond
something.
the 3.6 in
Beyond
2022. That's the last
3 point
data.
something is yes. So now the 50% of that cash component will be plowed into the next batch of IDPs. We have settled those ones, so the project is a sustainable program. So that 50% now goes in to continue with another group of people.
Okay.
So now a journey of 1,000 kilometers is set to always start with what? With a step. So that is the step right now of 1,000 IDPs in the pilot of the program. And let me tell you something. It's very, very wonderful. The program is going very, very wonderful because it's clean, it's pure, and wonderful.
Now, I would like to quickly ask, how are governors, I mean, we've talked about the receptivity of the IDPs who are supposed to be beneficiaries, but this is going to be in state, identified state, of course, by you. However, what's the receptivity of governors who should provide some level playing environment for you?
Well, we're just starting the program. Okay. And as I'm telling you now, many people are following us up. Many governors are calling. They want us to come and have the same partner with them in their states. So we're receiving clearer call virtually everywhere. Why? Because the program is fantastic. Talking about the 6 point something billion IDPs, since we have started with one step, I'm assuring you, by the grace of God, we will get there.
Chief, yeah. I must thank you for being part of the program. We really have run out of time. I wish we had more time to discuss, because it would be nice to go into several aspects of this project that we do not have. Time will not permit us to go into. We've been discussing with Chief Samuel Pukat that he's the Talba 1. He is also the Sadauna Matasam Arewa and the lead consultant, Renewed Hope Agricultural Empowerment Project for IDPs. Again, I thank you for being part of this edition.
Thank you very much.
So this is where we draw the curtains on this edition. It's been wonderful discussing this very important issue. Rest assured, we'll be back tomorrow with so much more. Do have a wonderful and restful evening.